Go Beaver! Away!
Welcome out, ladies and gentlemen, to this RGL.GG EU Season 4 matchup of Gimme opponent versus Fank Gaming in this best of 3 series. We're going to be starting out on Upward, going to Coldplay, and if we need to, we're going to be finishing out on Steel. It is looking to be very spicy here tonight over in the European motherland, as Fank Gaming coming in at only a 4-3 record, upset SDCK in the last round to put themselves in the grand finals. But the real question is, can they do it again? Gimme opponent lost only one match all season, but are they going to be able to hold firm and get another win in the grand finals? We will find out here tonight. I'm sigafoo, joined out here with Lucky to my side. How you doing out here, Lucky?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. Thank you so much for having me on tonight to witness Prolander. I don't have much experience, but I'm happy to cast anything.
Well, Prolanders, it's just like Mad Max. You just got to witness me. You witness it.
Just witness! Screaming and running. We're actually going live already, Sig.
We're doing it. And also got to give some love to Wiethoofd on camera here. And thanks again to Kritzcast, who is hosting the match here tonight. A little bit of a conjoined love, whatever you want to call it, going on as we are having this on. Gimme opponent can be starting out on offense here. It's going to be a best of 3 on Upward, so teams need to win 2 rounds in order to come through here. Fank Gaming up on defense, and it looks like they are going to be running an engineer, so no... actually, they're running a spy. Bourbon's actually back at spawn, I believe. He's just checking to see what classes are running. Yeah, he's sitting at spawn right now. He's checking what classes need to be run as Middle's doing his Eureka effect shenanigans, getting fully built up here. We'll be curious, yes. So it looks like I'm kind of curious if Bourbon will keep on that. It's a little bit unconventional to keep a spy for the first point, but we'll be seeing if they switch it up.
All I know is that Nubby is one hell of a gamer. I played against him in scrims, and if you are a medic, you do not want to be near him. He is an absolute unit. Followed up on his team, actually, I'll run down the roster. We've got D-Toad, Barthiz, Utka, also a unit, DQZ on medic, amazing Skeleton, Stinghan, and Duja. All of those players are very recognizable, and you've seen, you should know their names by now, because they are insane sick.
I heard, when we came on to the early on tier today, you were talking about how just stacked the Gimme opponent roster looked. As Tuja up on spy, he is onto playground right now as Barth is pushing up here. Tuja going in for the stab on the scout, will get it. Here comes the bomb in. Down lane, Layla eating so much damage, will get the force off just in time. Did get the pop. Literally there was a sticky directly underneath their feet, but as a success, as DQZ is back in spawn, has 100% ready to go. Cart's in position, and they are ready to start making some forward ground if they want to.
Yeah, Barthiz is making his way around that rock that he's spotted out by Joan, but Joan's just going to pipe. He's going to jump off the cliff and kill himself. Fantastic gameplay from the video, just get fast spawner, but we've got the cart moving up now. Ubers has been expended, like you said, from the red side, so now they're going to have an Uber to work with, which is how they're going to decide to take it. They are currently 2 down, no spy on the board, a headshot rings out, that's going to open up some room. They're going to go with Utka, the meat shot machine. He's going to run into this pyro, but the air blast really making it difficult to find any damage there, but Middle is actually in behind. Ooh, gets D-Toad there, but just gets immediately shut down by Stinghan.
Yeah, if he actually didn't get headshot there, he actually might have been able to get the drop onto the medic. Dreamy getting a nice pick, though he will get picked off, running back to his team. Nubby with a nice little rocket there. 15 seconds down for him to get set back up. Fank Gaming currently trying to hold up on this hillside. They do have 100% to try to defend this, but Joe getting popped up. Nice reflect, holding him back as Bourbon's going to burn him down eventually. D-Toad walking up the hill, but Fank Gaming, they are not waiting. He's actually getting pushed off, and they want to walk forward. He gives himself the Ubercharge. He's this heavy, he's eating a lot of damage, going onto the medic, goes down to half HP, trying to chase around the corner, not able to land the final blow onto him. So DQZ is going to be able to hold on to Uber. They lose a lot of players there, but with the fast respawns, not the worst.
Yeah, DQZ's got the wiggles, man. He's always going to survive in those situations, especially when it's only a heavy, but okay, getting headshot there. Carpy with a nice headshot right there to take him down. It's just going to be a bit of a reset, but the longer you wait, the more headshots are going to happen. It's just sort of the nature of the gameplay, I guess.
This is a really, really aggressive positioning out of Fank Gaming. You usually don't see teams hold on the front side of this hill. Carty's actually being pushed into by the scout. He's going to go down. That's a pretty big pick, losing your sniper. Though, yeah, not horrible respawn up in about 10 seconds, as it looks like Gimme, they're just going to put everybody on cart.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good strategy. If you manage to group up in that tunnel, it kind of gets hard for anyone to get in there and really force the issue. But as soon as they get to this tunnel entrance is where the problems start happening. You've got this tiny choke point that you got to try and stuff through. The red Uber now actually getting popped out onto the blue heavy. He gets low, they do pop in return. DQZ with a much better Uber. With the Pyro on this one, just going to air blast him back, so the blue Uber is effectively going to be useless. Loads of damage though onto the Pyro there, but he does manage to escape Dreamy on low HP too, just in the backlines. And not a lot really traded out from either side there. Uber's reset, let's see what happens.
Gimme has at least the high ground right now. Dreamy is hiding behind the card, as he mentioned. So Gimme can be able to push as it comes in. Dreamy, he's coming up behind. He's spotted just in time, but he's going to land a shot onto the medic. That's a 2-shot. The Pyro came in at the exact same time, and they're cleaning up. It's actually a 4v4 fight, but Middle, he wants to continue to push forward. He goes down so low. It's going to get picked off by Wiethoofd, who's continuing to push forward. Joe is going to back up here. High bomb into the Soldier. Navi's not going to find anything. They're already gone, but they got what they needed. They're going to come down with the point. They are down in terms of Uber advantage, but that's not that big of a deal coming into this third point because it takes so long to get that cart into position.
Yeah, this is exactly the point I was going to bring up. This Uber disadvantage, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how the red team decide how they want to take this. Because they can hold really aggressively with this, and they can stop that cart from coming forwards if they want to, but they've already given up most of the space. It's just when it gets to this sort of like spiral area, that's when they need to make it happen. And Hoyer's moving into position already. Does get body shot there, moves back Joan with the spam, but they are moving out the blue team here. The red medic is not in a position to take any Ubers here, so it's just looking a bit risk, and they're not really taking as much of an advantage as they could be.
Yeah, he's off the card as Dito trying to push forward here. You see the blue heavy. He's going into the C house. He's going for a flank play, but he did get spotted out, so he will actually take down the defensive demo. Dreamy will at least pick him up with low HP, but not having Joe here is going to hurt them. Nubby, that was a huge bomb. I've never seen that bomb before. That was
He did
crazy.
a fast roll. Yeah, he did the fast roll like you can do from the forward spawn. You just can high bomb all the way around, but he does get picked up by middle there in the back line. It was a nice bomb, but it does leave you very exposed on very low HP. But the Uber situation is now evened out, but the cart is still moving up the hill. There's been very little pressure on this cart, and we do see an Uber trade coming out here. The Pyro getting insanely low. This post Uber is going to be a little bit risk for the red team right now as they do start backing up very wisely just to try and take down this heavy. Middle coming around the corner. It's going to end up shredding Barthes underneath the stairwell, but the cart is still moving. No one's contested it at all.
Yeah, this is great job coming out to Gimme opponent. They're losing the fight here, but you know what? They're winning the cart. They're winning the objective. It's just about there. The Scout's not going to be able to come down with it. DQZ is going to die in the process, but all you need to do is do a little bomb onto the cart, get a spy cap, anything you want. Like, as much as they lost that fight, it doesn't matter because the war is going to be won. In just a few moments, all they need is just one good push.
Yeah, one good push will do it for sure. There's barely any room on there, and it's already good, decent time on the clock there as well. So, doing a really good job so far. I mean, Nubby's moving up onto the high ground now already. They got the scout on it. They just need to keep stickies, maybe a bit of pyro flames going. But Tujo is now actually on the cart, and they're just going to give it up.
Yeah, they're not even going to try to contest it. They're 3 down right now, falling back onto this final point. Layla does have 100% ready to go as Nubby is going to be looking to make a play. Spotted out by Joe, who's actually going down below. Half HP there is Wiethoofd walking up that front stairs uncontested while Nubby was pushing on the backside, and they're continuing to get ground. Nubby gets denied by the Pyro as being blasted back. Layla does get forced out there, going down to 100 HP. They're going to try to take down the Heavy, who will die, as well as Wiethoofd holding on to this, but I mean, they're picking up frags, but again, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's great because it denies it, but DQZ is still up. The respawns are going to be up. Look at that. Half their team's already up in just a couple seconds. And so they got the force off. Gimme is ready to go in here very shortly.
Yeah, they're using that meta tiles hold, but the meta tiles hold doesn't apply when you're trying to make them use the Uber first, and DQZ managing to survive there. It wasn't an Uber disadvantage anyway, like I said, but survives long enough so now they have this Uber to play with, and they're going to be moving through this lower area with it, heading up towards tiles. They do spot out the Soldier, do use early just to keep Utka alive. They are chasing really hard onto the Heavy, middle juking kind of well there, avoiding one scat shot. And they have managed to take control of tiles, but the rest of the red team have made them scatter. Oh my god, huge damage from Dito, takes down 2. It's going to be a double kill for him. We've got Dreamy coming in, does take down Barthes in the backlines, but it's too weak to make anything happen. This cart is rolling forward, sigafoo.
And it is looking like it's going to fall in here. Just 3 players left alive. The respawns are coming up. They do take down 1. Joe, he's not going to be able to get out. Actually, started Dreamy was coming in from behind, but it's not going to be enough. 8:29 though. A little bit of a slow time for Prolander. Generally, you see closer to 7 minutes. Basically, you know, Prolander
kind of 7-11.
It's 7-11. Oh, sorry, I saw 8. 8. That's been 8 minutes to the clock. I'm a blind man. 7-11. That's a solid time there then.
Yeah, that's all right. It's good. It'll be interesting to see how Feint are going to respond to this and how they're actually going to maybe put pressure on certain points. Because I mean, the place that they gave out the most ground was actually that third point. They just sort of were able to continue the cart rolling, even though they had this Uber ad to play with, and they really didn't take the initiative on it, where they could have probably caught the med if they went in with like a demo Uber and a scout or something, just taken him down, ran back, reset the situation, spam the cart, you know, just chill out. But they opted not to do any of that stuff, and as a result, they gave up a lot of time that they could have held.
Yeah, well, the other thing too, I felt that you know, Feint, they didn't really use their, because that's the thing that soldier's job. It's a soldier in demo's job to harass the cart, and I never felt like I saw the soldier at all from Feint Gaming harassing the cart, making them have to, you know, because if there's one player on the cart who's just walking up for like a minute straight, you've done something wrong. Like, somebody should be contesting that. But we'll find out if they can respond to the 7-11 time that they defended against middle coming out on Spy. So no engineer, as well as no, actually no, here comes an actually, instead of talking, Joe bombs in. Middle not in position to do anything with this. The soldier gets easily denied. Middle's gonna be coming down. He gets the stab,
Oh, beautiful.
Takes down the gun.
Absolutely beautiful gameplay there from the Spy. Holy moly. I can never wish of achieving that in a million years. I'm so useless at Spy.
I mean, as good as that is, though, he didn't take down the teleporter, which is still up. Teleporter is honestly, in some ways, more important than a gun at times, because the engineer's going to get back up here. He's already going to be able to start building a gun, at least get it to, you know, maybe level 2 by the time this push comes in. So it's great to get that stab, but oh, sorry, he actually switched to minis. Never mind. So he's not even trying to hold this aggressively, as we see, like, the Uber is wanting to go Bourbon. Look at how aggressive he is, just trying to get that pulse off, and DQZ will pop finally, as Layla will back away, try to keep everybody alive. But the red has not lost a person yet, but they're starting to back up.
Yeah, they're all losing HP there, and they are all starting to run away. Nobody just get picked up there. As the Uber comes in from the blue side, maybe a bit of a use there. Oh, Layla goes down, just runs into the heavy. That's very unfortunate there for the blue side. Now there's going to be increased pressure coming out from the red. Yeah, they're coming forwards. They have mini sentries, so they can just set up forwards because they've got the wrangled mini sentries, which can be an insane pest and essentially a sniper rifle for damage. But Joan is actually on the cart right now and is actually going to cap out that first point, and they are going to give it up, and they're all going to run back. Utka there with a nice frag up to Joan as he's retreating.
That is so disappointing. I really thought that they were going to... I mean, if they really fully engaged on that first point, I think they easily could have retaken it and done a new hold. I'm not really sure what the call was, why they were scared to go all in, given the position. Maybe I don't know, maybe the sniper was up and they were just a little bit scared on that. But either way, they're going to just opt to play it a little bit safe. 5-12 left on the clock, 2 minutes off in the first point. Not too bad, as Go for Feint Gaming pushing up here, getting pretty low. More of the standard octopus hold. Not as aggressive as we saw at Feint Gaming, but a lot of ground being taken by Feint Gaming, not being pressured. As the Uber will come out from DQZ, he got forced, and Dito, he's going to jump all the way behind, but with the Pyro there, he's not going to get anything. And not having your demo to hold this hill is going to force Gimme to play very awkwardly.
Yeah, I mean, Nubby's trying to build up that conch, but he's shooting uphill, and also the headshot coming out of Stinghand. They're going to have to give this one up. There's no way that they can hold this anymore. Utka is now in the tunnel alone. Barth is actually doing a good job taking out middle, but is going to get fragged in the corner there along with the rest of his side. And but the one thing that they're neglecting here is the cut. Like, they could have had players on this cut much sooner. Tutor actually taking a 1v1 with Dreamy isn't going to work out too well, and it looks like they are going to get this third point, but they didn't have players on the cut for a significant amount of time there, and this is really the moment where you know, Feint really needs to get a move on, because 4 minutes left here. If they manage to get any amount of decent hold up on second, it could be lights.
And we'll see what they can do with this 100% coming up either side. Dreamy moving that cart with ×2 Stinghan, looking down, kind of a tight angle there, looking directly lower, but nobody is peeking that whatsoever. As it looks like Feint, they're just biding their time. Fury, they're starting to walk out. Here comes out the overcharge very early on. DQC trying to dodge, not taking any damage. Finally, will pop it in kind. 60% charge better in terms of the red side. Nubby pushing around with the conch, getting down some decent damage onto Layla. Layla dancing, drops down lower, is able to keep her life as they actually are almost winning the fight. It's 5v5 right now as one player's coming back from the respawn. Dreamy, that cart is slowly working up, but no, Stinghan will stop it as the heavy goes down as well. And a successful defense coming out from Gimme opponent.
Yeah, Stinghan there with some nice headshots, managed to stay down. As few of the key players from the blue side are unable to really make the rest of the push happen after they lost a bunch of players or set up any kind of hold. But this cart, once again, is getting neglected more than it was for Gimme, and now Dreamy is getting a hold of that cart, and Borden's going ahead there as well. Hoy now getting on the cart as well, but the mini sentry on the high ground is going to be an absolute nuisance, especially since it's wrangled, and you see how much damage it's just dishing out to these players. They've been chipped to the point where they can't push the cart anymore, and they're going to have to give that as well, and they've got 2 minutes 40 to make something happen. It's looking very unlikely at this point.
Yeah, Bourbon pushing in. Oh my god, that Ubercharge just came in time. PQC's going to pop in kind. Uka with that Ubercharge, not able to get too much, just kind of trading back and forth. They did get the cart up that first hill. That is one of the hardest hills to push up there, as a soldier is pushing around this far hand side, getting some damage onto the enemy team. Nubby with that conch up in the black botch. He's still pushing forward, getting those kills, get a nice shot onto the scout, clearing out that cart. His middle is going to try to continue to push forward, but he's being collapsed on. He's going to go down. Tuja is actually, now he's going to come down, take down one more. And, you know, I was talking about how the soldier didn't really seem to exist for Feint Gaming on defense. Nubby is making his presence known, using the Conch Black Box. Like, that is how you need to play defense. Conch Black Box, be annoying, spam a lot, and he's doing a great job of it right now.
Not only that, is he's taking the heals too. Like, whenever you're taking heals and you're playing Black Box Conch, you are essentially an unkillable unit on that high ground. And then since it's Nubby even more, he hits those directs. So building that Conch takes no time at all. He is such a skilled player. In fact, he has it again now. And he is just going to leap on top of the enemy team probably with this one. He's just legging it forward into them. And he doesn't care about where Blue are right now. He's just in. You're fragging players all over the place. He's currently on a 4K, fighting Dreamy as well. Oh my word, Dreamy nearly going down there, but the spam comes out, nearly kills him so low, and he does get taken out of it. Nubby's on a killing spree right now, holy moly.
Yeah, I mean, really, this point's coming down. I mean, Nubby's making so I love to see the damage numbers just from, like, the last few minutes. I mean, he's got to have just something insane. I can tell you, as a player, playing against a good Black Box soldier with Conch is just one of the most annoying things in the world, because, as you said, they're just so unkillable when they get that pop off. And he's doing a great job of it. I mean, they're just Feint Gaming. They're not getting any free cap time. It'd be curious in the same thing. It's like Feint Gaming when they had the defense last time. They got all that free capture time. Dreamy jumping off the card Ubercharge is going to come out, try to defend. 44 seconds left on the clock. D-Toad chasing forward. Nubby going forward, but we're pretty much into impossibility zone. Nubby will go down. Middle on is Spy. We'll try to get something, but yeah, Gimme is just having some fun here in the final few moments of the game.
Yeah, they've lost this one out. The one thing that they could have done with maybe earlier is one thing that people never think about whenever they play, apparently, from what I've seen, is that their soldier can... If you're having troubles with a mini-sentry, a direct hit is probably the solution to that problem. Because they really struggled to get the high ground because they had a mini-sentry that was pinning their scout down, and everyone knows the mini-sentries are the big old counter to the scout class, the most powerful class in the game. And if you don't want it to push your cart, you stick a mini-sentry in front of him. And if that mini-sentry is doing issues, you get your soldier on direct hit, you take it down, and then you start making plans, rather than trying to send him up the hill directly into their entire team and a mini-sentry.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's just something to kind of mix it up. We're taking a look at the logs here. In that first round. So Dreamy actually on Scout, he actually was the one who top fragged in that first game, but he was pretty muted, I felt like, when it came to offense, just wanting to see what his actual kills were. So he had 6 frags, though, on when he was pushing on offense, which is not bad for a Scout when, you know, your job should be pushing the cart mostly. But from there, Gimme is just really stacking it up, you know, a lot better. They are starting up here, but as we're kind of seeing the 60-second start time, what else are you seeing in the logs that's kind of jumping out at you?
The things I'm seeing is big damage from Joe, and it just appears like his damage is just not being cleaned up at all, but he is really, like, he's pinning down the heavy mainly and managing to get that heavy out of the way for the rest of his team to make some space. And off the back of that, Hoy down at the bottom there, 5-12, not really capitalizing on that at all. On the damage that could have been dealt in the space that is created from a heavy being dead. And I feel like that is really what's hindering them right now. Just maybe the little lack of soldier aggression that they could be harnessing. Just maybe need to go a little bit more, like, you know, balls to the walls with it.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, Nubby, obviously, he actually has twice the amount of damage of the enemy soldier. So obviously he's having a good game. But Hoy on defense only got 2 frags and 1,400 damage. So Hoy really, really needs to step it up here on defense. But they're going to be starting out on offense, Feint Gaming, they are going to be on defense again, defending the time. And so, yeah, but Hoy's going to really need to be able to step it up here. Oh, my whole thing's screwed up. I don't know what I'm talking about. Feint Gaming's on offense. That's what it should be. I was very confused there for a moment, as Feint is going to be walking out of the tunnel right now.
Yeah, they are making their way out to this point. Nubby has actually opted that he's going to keep that conch on, but not with Black Box this time around. Opting for that stock rocket launcher for the extra spam that he can get on the car, that one extra rocket. Probably going to pay off dividends. Hoy going in, we just see a forced attempt coming out here. We have got DQZ just sitting in the corner there on that pack. Not a lot really being done to him. They're going to have to do a reset here because they are getting nothing. Oh, the spam at range, and everyone dies apart from Layla in the spawn. And that's going to have to be a reset. That's a lot of time already going to the side of the red team.
It's like one of these things where they had everybody die. You know, the spy went for Stinghan, which they took down, but Stinghan, guess what? They have a teleporter up. He's already back at the front line. If they didn't have the teleporter up, this, you know, they wouldn't have to pop so earlier. That they're coming through. They're trying to focus down this inch gun. They do get the force out from either side. So the question is how well can they re-engage this? But a lot of spam coming down onto the cart there from the red heavy. He's going to take down Dreamy as they continue to hold on here. Not a single player lost on Gimme opponent as they're trying to peek over this. They'll try to get something for this team. Nubby holding that far left-hand side. Stinghan does go down. So no sniper here for the defense. Carpy goes down as well, so no sniper for either side. But still, Fake Gimme can work off of that. No sniper, you need to start getting aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, they're sort of winning out the spam battle here. Barthez is eating most of it on the high ground. Just drop down now for a hit. Joan actually going down there. That's going to create a lot of room for the side of the red team. In fact, blue team are now backing all the way up. Now that they've lost their main man in damage, Nubby actually retreating there to get some heals as well after he gets reflected. And once again, having this reset, the cart has moved up a very small amount to the point where it's nearly insignificant. And this first point is proving to be a real difficulty for the side of Fang.
Yeah, middle switched off his spy to heavy right away. He did get the car pushed up. Here comes the overcharge. DQC, he doesn't have it in time. They just push the pyro straight forward. Great timing coming out from Fake Gimme, taking down the meta. Dito down incredibly low. He will at least take out Joe as they lost everybody else. The heavy will go down there for Gimme as they are taking the hill. Carpy walking forward, trying to find the snipe onto anybody as it's forcing Gimme to back off. They're continuing to push forward here, but just a great push coming out of Fake Gaming. I was wondering what they were needing to do, but leapfrogging with the Uber charges did such a great job before DQZ was able to get his up.
Yeah, and here comes the snowball as well. They're really pinning them into the spawn room right now. Dreamy is just sat on that cart. It's currently ×2. They could really do with sticking another player on it. Hoy in the backlines right now, probably not doing too much there. He's not going to be very useful coming to this point. Could be helping with the cart to get a little bit extra time. But we have got the blue team moving forwards. They've managed to secure all of this ground, so it appears that they're going to get even more. Because Joan actually getting a little bit overextended there. Could have been caught out if Nubby had turned the corner. And finding the picks now as well. We've got Barthez going down, and it's going to create even more space. And Layla actually popping out her Uber here into a mini sentry. DQZ is already out there. He's got the wiggles, but we have got the pyro coming forwards. Nice little reflect, but does get headshot by Stinghan at close range. Hoy turning the corner now. Carby as well, taking that space. And this, oh, another headshot from Stinghan. This man is an absolute unit.
He's doing great. Middle's going to go down as well. I was going to say that was a terrible Uber pop. Like, in order to take that ground, you have to maintain that hold this entire time, and it's such a hard thing to do. Hoy behind, he got to get down as well. The cart is rolling up, and look at this. They're not even going to get that first. They use that Uber charge. They're not even going to get this first uphill if Gimme continues to pressure them. Dreamy keeps jumping off the cart. I'm not really sure why, because he's not being pressured right now. Nubby in the up area. Dreamy should be able to get this first at least uphill. He does do that, but yeah, I think Gaming just waited a little bit longer. I think they would have had a more successful push.
Yeah, middle on the spy takes down Stingham, one of the big issues for the side of Feint Gaming, and now they are to really pressure this cart. Moving forwards here, Borden is just going to be spamming out those detonator shots. Tujo with the mini sentry once again, as the red Uber has now popped out, unsure as to why, probably the sniper pressure calling that one there. And they don't actually find anything with it. They managed to find Carly, do a little bit of cart defense and manage to reset, but Layla coming up with 100% Hero is going to instantaneously pop. They're trying to get on top of DQZ, but it looks like Barton is going to be the only casualty of this one. And Dito actually died somewhere off a cliff.
He fell off the cliff. He got popped up and fell in that little hole right next to the balcony.
No.
And that cart's going to continue to roll up. Jeremy actually got the second hill completely for free. Joe's chasing down DQZ all the way back into spawn, not able to get any of the stickies. Oh my god, the jukes! DQZ should be dead right now. He lands one pipe, but not able to get another one. That man, Joe, is not able to find anything there. They will be back up quickly. Nobody gets denied instantly, trying to get into tiles. And so he will go down. Bourbon going for a flank play, it looks like, as he's going to go underneath. Here comes in the soldier up top, pushing back D-Toad. And Bourbon, if he heard that call, he should have gone at the same time, but the communication just not on point for Feint Gaming during that push. But looks like they are going to continue to work that cart forward. Joe walking in, gets annihilated. as well, as we are kind of getting set up here.
Captain Big Dam Dam's trying to move in to fight against a new heavily healed combo right here. They also weaken this top room, but the problem is Feint just going in one by one, really not coordinating their attack there to try and retake tiles. And we are just going to have Nubby trying to make a sack happen because he does have the time to do that onto Layla. She does have 100% Uber right now, and also 100% on the side of DQZ. So I mean, it's gonna be a war of attrition. Who will pop first and who will have the bad trade? We're gonna see.
Also, because I love talking about teleporters, I just want to talk about how Tuja on defense has a teleport going to upper. So every death that Gimme gets, if they have a bad death, like on Heavy, for instance, it's not that big of a deal because you can instantly get your Heavy back into upper, which is such a huge deal, especially with your medic and your classes that can't get up there. So like right now, the Pyro went down, Uka went down, 19 seconds, he can come back up. Joe walking into a D-Toad trap. And so just another thing that Gimme is doing, the small things, to make it so much easier to hold on to this point.
Yeah, DQ is enjoying his time standing in a corner, chilling out with the rest of his team, you know. He's pumping out them heals, getting them logs. Nubby's going in for a couple of, like, pokes here and there. We've got middle moving up, just gets immediately headshot by Stinghand. I'm not sure. What do you think? Okay. Nuba gets popped out from the red side. A little bit weird there. DQZ didn't take any damage at all. Just okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I mean, maybe he was scared about Joe or Toad going down, but he was maybe at like 150. Like, it was still pretty high up there. He definitely wasn't in one
he was full HP when he popped that Uber. I think he just didn't want to drop D-Toad there, which is fair enough. I mean, like, sometimes you are scared about dropping players. Sometimes you do have that lapse in thought where you're just like, oh crap, I better save my gamer, otherwise they're going to flame me. But anyway, we are seeing the blue Uber come in here. The Pyro blocking loads of this damage, but DQZ managing to run out there as the conch was popped, so they get that little speed boost on the run out there. And it looks like they do manage to take tiles. They have this area now to themselves. Barth is eating a sandwich in lower, and Joan now has the space to spam this sentry gun. But Wrangler just doing so much work here. He's trying to desperately repair it, but they do manage to finally take it down. This car is getting pushed. They have got Barthas waiting in the lower area. They are seeing Hoy moving forward
do so much work.
That's going to be so big.
Oh, he's coming in huge right now. Somebody on the other side just needs to punish them. Stop them from jumping in there. And oh my goodness, Nubby not able to get their time. Oh, they could have like had such a good defense there. That heavy spot is such a nuisance to deal with. And they literally just hid from him, and they didn't take any damage on the other side. That's got to be a disappointment. 733, you know, they beat that time last time, but still, Feint Gaming, it's a pretty solid time, 733. They definitely can be able to defend it.
It's very interesting coming out from Feint there, because 7:33 not as good as the time that was put up, but it's not that far out. It's only 22 seconds out. So they did a really good job there of pushing, but they could have been, like, you know, sitting on the cart the entire game, essentially. But they did leave it a couple times. But they had a real struggle with that first point, so it's going to be interesting to see how Feint adapts now, having seen how they held, and maybe changing up their game plan a little bit after the last one. Maybe.
Yeah, well, they are already doing it. They're not running engineer on defense here, which is always a little bit of a questionable decision for the first point. Just because, again, the teleporter, it's so important. I'm going to talk about it all so much because it's so important. It's such a deal.
NG class, gentlemen, NG class.
NG class. I might have played engineer once or twice in my life. But, you know, it's one thing. I have seen teams do it in North America. There's a couple teams who do choose not to run an engineer. And I don't think engineer is that good on the second point. On the third point, it's mixed. But we'll see how Feint Gaming does it. No engineer on the first defense here, no spy as well, or the classes are not running. As Tusha going to go down here on Pyro, as well as a heavy, and an easy cleanup from Feint Gaming early on here, though Joe will get his head taken off.
Okay, this was a clever maneuver coming out from the side of what's their team name? Gimme. That's them. Gimme opponent. Yeah, those guys. This is a really smart move from them because what they've done here is they've managed to move the car up about halfway before they try and make any sack wave or trade starting to happen. So they've already taken the initiative with. Oh my God! DQZ gets owned by Carpi. He goes down and drops that Uber, and Layla now has 100% to work with. But it looks like Feint are already giving up so much ground here, but they are now bombing in on top of Layla as Layla does immediately use. Scared of Nubby Craters is an excellent force coming out from them and a good recovery.
Yeah, they're going to be. I figured they were kind of just waiting for their team kind of come in there, you know, to kind of get together. Uka just jumping and taking down the sniper. He's still healed up. Did he get an arrow in the middle of that fight from across the map? I think he did. That's insane. And so they're actually going to back up here. Those couple picks that Uka got there is going to be enough to force Feint Gaming to give up that first point. But again, I think that, I mean, you saw, like, oh, Feint Gaming, they got so many kills, but they were trades. and because they're on defense, they had a 16-second respawn versus the 5-second respawn for Gimme opponents. So the trades were not worthwhile at all. I didn't understand their aggressive playstyle. It didn't get them anything, and they just gave up that first point in about a minute. And here we see Gimme starting to push on to the second point.
Yeah, Uka is captain cart time this game, and he is just constantly on top of that cart, making sure he's moving forwards, making sure that cap is coming up to the team. Stinghand goes down to Hoy in the backlines, and their flank is currently exposed. Tuja is trying to split out there, and Nubby is insanely low, and they're going to really, really struggle here coming through this tunnel area with everyone. So we're seeing the headshot ring onto Bath. There's Carpi doing some absolute work for this team. Uka trying to move his way up on the flank as well, but not a lot really happening. We are seeing middle up on the spy. He's going in for the backstab in by DQZ. He gets the stab and takes him down. Once again, DQZ dropping another Uber, but Layla instantly popping her Uber. Not really necessary there. Stinghand is now watching out over the area. Could land some nice headshots. We are seeing Tuja in on the Pyro. Doesn't manage to make anything happen. Nubby with a high bomb. Onto Layla, takes her down. And it's going to be a reset with DQZ on the advantage, but they are rushing for this card.
Yeah, oh, the heavy, he's gonna get the 2K right there. Hold on to this, and that's the second time that DQZ has dropped, and they still have gotten the point like within 20 or 30 seconds. It's just not good retakes coming out from Feint Gaming. Not clinical enough, not getting enough kills, and not taking the round where they need to do it. As you said, they popped very aggressively there, and maybe just needed to take a second, catch their breath, and, you know, have the player advantage that they wanted. Nubby's gonna go down, getting caught out there, not that big of a deal. As he's going to be able to get back up. Stinghand, though, taking down Dreamy down for 18 seconds. And so that's one more person who can't defend against this cart as D-Toad's walking forward.
Indeed, they are looking to set this area, but we have got Barthas actually in the backlines there. This heavy's, oh my god, he takes down Portland as well, but doesn't take down with Joan because he was far too low and on fire, and he was just going to take out there. But we are seeing Nubby get absolutely force pushed there by middle, and Dieter manages to get assistance from Stinghand there in the form of a bullet, the dome into middle's forehead. And we are seeing Dreamy go forwards now, popping out to Uber, and they can get on top of Layla. Oh my god, the air shot! Uka just got double air shot while Ubered and totally denied. That was incredible.
I mean, it's incredible, but it's just, I mean, they're still losing. They just cannot hold ground. I mean, this kind of goes back to, again, Hoy, he's not running black box. He's not holding forward ground on this point. His scout went down, and there was no one at all to hold forward ground on this third point. Middle dropping down gets a lot of damage onto DQZ, but he's not going to get anything. He's actually going to die getting caught inside of this section, and he's down for 17 seconds himself, which is like, cool, you try to make a great play, but guess what? You're now just going to make it that much easier. You had Uber advantage as well. I don't even know what he's trying to get an advantage of. They're going to lose their sniper as well. What are they doing? They're just collapsing. Dito just walking in for free. So much damage onto Joe. He's not even dead. They're continuing to take ground here. They have 100% to try to defend this. They're holding on as slowly but surely DQZ is jumping, is getting ever so closer. Nubby gonna get denied jumping up there. They're holding on to this as best they can. Nubby goes down. Middle's gonna take down one more.
Whoa.
And it looks like, oh, they dropped him. They dropped Joe.
This
happened.
used. Layla,
And
no.
The heavy's not dead yet. Kill him.
This is a disaster of an Uber that they took their. DQZ now has a full Uber. Dito getting low, does get stepped at range there from Hoy and goes down, but they are trying to regroup heavily. Oh my god, Carpi as well manages to take down Ukra there on a rotation. Being out in on the high ground, goes straight to Joe and takes him down. That's a huge pick to find, and that is going to totally open this up now. This is going to be the opportunity now for the blue team to get in here. They are just desperately trying to untars. The middle doing so much work. He's like a lawnmower just cleaning up players all over the place. Dreamy is now interested to get something happen in the middle there, creating so much space for his team.
Yeah, they need to get their respawns up just in time, but they're actually not even going to wait for the respawns to push in with the supercharge. Here they go, pushing in forward, but great job by Bourbon, pushing him back. The soldier, Hoy, is going to pop his punch, but not going to be able to get out with it. They're going to take down the scout eventually, but they are down 2 players compared to Gimme, but the card is still at the front door. Joe walking out alone. He's going to run into Tusha. He's going to eat a fight, but he's going to be able to back up. Only 2 players left alive here. Tusha down to 3 HP, is able to grab the med pack. Nubby at the spawn door. Cardi's back up. He's not going to be able to snipe 6 heads at once. He's going to go down. Here comes in some respawns from Hoy. Takes down Nubby. That's the first he needed to do. Pyro Bourbon jumps in, but denied by Gimme. And that's going to be it. Pushing that card in. About a 6-minute time there on offense coming out from Gimme as they are going to take their first map of Upward.
Well, that was absolutely incredible. The analogy that comes to mind off the back of this one is a hot knife through butter. That was really, really well played from Gimme there. They just had an absolutely fantastic series there on Upward. They got better and better as that went forwards, and they managed to pick them apart one by one, and they managed to also come back on any disadvantages they came into, like Nubby sacking to kill Layla after DQZ gets headshot, managing to get all the forces off and everything. It all came together beautifully, but I think man of the match after just Upward alone is Nubby. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the logs from that second half, Nubby at least a little bit more down to earth there, as he only had 10 frags, 288 damage per minute compared to the Hoy had 298, with actually less deaths and more assists compared to Nubby. But I don't know. It's like one of these things where just kind of the best way to describe it is it felt like Feint Gaming was just dying. They're really staggering their deaths on defense. You know, like it wasn't that they were like terrible, they played awful, but it's just a good example of like if you're trying to be a hero and it doesn't work out, you just screwed your team over. And like, yeah, it's great that, you know, we saw Barthas go, he got like the huge, you know, spree there where he killed everybody on defense and it slowed them down for like 10 seconds before they just pushed with 3 players using their advantage and just winning the round. Like, you know, it's like as much as you make those big plays on defense, you have to make them at the right times. I mean, he did it before where he tried to go for the medic when he had uber advantage. Like, what are you doing there? The medic's at 3%.
It's a bit
There's
crazy.
no reason.
Yeah, Carpy here. Carpy is the unsung hero of this game, though. 20 headshots on Upward there. Really well played from him. He was pinging off players left, right, center, really creating room for his team just to feel a little bit less pressured in this map. Sniper, notoriously arguably the most powerful class in the game, only really countered by itself. And coming into the next map, we have Cold Plant next, and sniping 101 map personally.
Yeah, it's going to be, well, it can be. I mean, it can be really weird, wonky angles. I mean, Cold Plant's a little bit like Asheville, where it's like you can do really well on it, but it's a little bit easier to get on top of a sniper, you know, due to getting over the roofs and stuff like that. But the one thing I just want to point out on the logs before we kind of jump over to Cold Plant here is I just want to point out that Feint Gaming in that second round, just to kind of underline the point that they did not play like poorly or like were the worst in terms of like DM, because they actually had more damage than Feint Gaming had more damage than Gimme opponent. They had 600, about 2 heavies worth of more damage, but they had 7 less kills. So more damage, less kills generally tells me that you're just not playing coordinated, you're not playing well. And then looking at the defense, again, this match is so close in terms of all of the statistics, but on paper, you lost by 1.5 minutes, which is like a ton of time that you lost by. Tells me once again that it's not your DM, but it's your strategy, it's your way of playing together. It's just not quite there. And so I'm really questioning if they're even able to get past Cold Plant. Can they bring it together in Steel? Because that is a map where you cannot mess around in. You need to be coordinated. You need to be thoughtful. At Cold Plant, though, a little bit more DM heavy. Maybe they'll be able to kind of step it up here. You know, Dreamy obviously has been having a great game. And I mean, Cold Plant for a scout is a very heavenly map. It's one that they really love.
Yeah, indeed. But on the other side as well, don't forget you have Utka smiling them down. This player, he came out of nowhere originally about 2 seasons ago, absolutely dominating the scene, playing pugs left, right, and center, just like destroying people. He's getting picked every game. And this man, he could frag as much as Dreamy. I mean, he hasn't been showing off as much as Dreamy on the logs, but he was really just like a cart hero for most of the games there, just playing the defensive sort of flank element. But on this, he could really sort of absolutely destroy them here. It's going to be dependent on, I think, the space that's created by the rest of his team and how much of an opportunity he's going to have to take Ubers. And it's going to be between Utka, Dreamy, but Carpy, if he manages to get some crucial headshots in this game, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, we'll be curious what we see. It's going to be a best of 5 series for this map. And so that means the first team to win 3 rounds will win this map. It is currently match point in the favor of Gimme opponent, as they're currently up from winning that first map on Upward. And again, if Feint Gaming is able to pull it out here, you know, it is going to be going to go to Steel for the decider. I'm very curious to see what these teams will be going to run on offense, you know, in this map, because Engineer inside of America, that's become a very big standard inside of Cold Plant. People love running Engineer. It's so powerful when somebody plays it well. It looks like both of these teams will be popping off the Engineer hits. We got Middle and Tusha on their respective sides playing that class.
You can have that level 3 shutter gun, you know, where you just pop it open and wrangle. Oh, I love that stuff. Anyway, we're coming into the first mid-fight of the game. Dreamy is actually taking a bit of damage early on, trying to get that space out. Oka managing to do the same thing, but they managed to get aggressive here. They've taken this left-hand side and they managed to take this under area as well. Really controlling the ground already. Dreamy getting the top right. They've got that mini sentry up with the Wrangler. A real nuisance when you're trying to do anything at range. And they are having a Wrangler fight right now. And it's like the middles Wrangler wins out of the two Wranglers. But Joan taking that high ground on top of DQZ. DQZ does take a bunch of damage there, but Dreamy is going to be the first casualty in this game. You don't lose your scout early on, but Joan taking tons of damage as well, catching an arrow. And this is a really sort of slow grind here as Barth is now edging forward, trying not to get a headshot here. And we just see it back out. Borden takes down Utka there in mid-air with the detonator. The red Uber has now come out as well, and they're trying to go into DQZ. The blue Uber has now popped out. Tons of cap time for the red side, and they can't really get too much with this Uber, as they do get juggled a little bit there. And it's just going to even out now, but blue team have the ground, and it's going to settle down. They're going to get this cap. It's going to be chill.
You would think that, but the re-engagement coming up from gaming, they're picking up one. Barth's going down incredibly low right there. Is able to get out with his life. The ×2 is up. Joe's still pushing forward. He's not letting his capture go down to Heavy. I don't even know how he survived that final pipe, as he's going to hold on, getting rehealed up. Bourbon going straight in onto Barth, but he's going to go down. Joe's now recapturing this point. This point is yet to be captured. And it is an indicator of what's going to be such a tight map here. As he goes down finally. Here comes the bomb, and Nubby onto the medic, gets the rocket! Layla, I thought she was above. I don't know if she got hit by something else. I think she got body shot there at the same time by Nubby.
Yeah, she seemed to be above limit there. I thought she was going to be able to hold on to it, but Nubby there with a crisp rocket. Straight to the feet to take her down. But we are going to see this reset here. They are starting to get time down on this clock. And Carpy, he has the range. He's going to be able to find a headshot there. On Suja, already on the 3K. Dreamy in the backline, managed to take down Nubby there as well. And Stingham now kicking out wide, but they are getting tons of cap time onto this point. Bath is taking the high ground. Dreamy is actually going to get in behind now as well. Onto DQZ. DQZ does pop out that Uber on. It's taking low HP, but they're not going to really be able to get much here. D-Toad's going to be low. Coming out back of this Uber, picks up a health pack after his Uber. Layla actually going to get caught out here. Uka finds the frag. D-Toad gets destroyed by the Pyroclast, and it looks like DQZ is actually going to escape through lower, and they did get the cap as well, so it's looking very good for the blue side.
Uka had such a beautiful escape there after killing the medic. I mean, that was like one of the best surfs I've seen. He surfed it all the way down to the lower area. He's getting down pretty low, 17 HP himself, as he's going to be able to back up. As we can see, Gimme opponent there are going to start to take the lead down. 25 seconds, 2 minutes, 25 seconds, starting to tick down ever so lower. As we can see right now, Fink Gaming, they're trying to figure out how they want to work their way in here. They're currently sitting up onside the balcony side, as Gimme is direct opposite them on the ramp. Joe trying to find any sort of spam over to them, as that Dreamy is behind. He's going to go into a 1-1 against Utka. Now into Stinghunt. He's going to take down Stinghunt. No, he's going to go down. He doesn't get anybody in the process. And Fink Gaming just not able to get anything, it seems, so far.
Yeah, Nuggy is causing an absolute nuisance in the backline. Taking 1v1s, he wins another 1v1 in the backlines. Originally taking down middle and takes down Hoy as well. That is absolutely insane from him.
Crazy goodness that they're doing. It's just like such good timing. I mean, the problem with Think Gaming there is they're positioning themselves as if they had an Uber ready to go. And Gimme opponent, they were doing a great job keeping track of that. And we're like, oh, no, they're only at 80%. Let's go in. You know, Layla's exposed and just take her down. And that's kind of the last 2 times Layla's died, is it's mostly just kind of been a little bit of awkward positioning. So they once again will be down Uber, only about 20% this time. But Think Gaming, they need to do something earlier on, as they're already a minute down.
Yeah, and they're going to have to make something happen now. I mean, they're trying to look for these headshots here. They're already finding too much, and Middle is actually having to get the hell out of there. His spy class not really working out for him at this point. He's just getting spotted every opportunity. Joan is just eating all the damage because he's the only frontliner. And I'm not really sure why they're still opting for this Pyro. I mean, we've seen it from the side of Gimme opponent. They've not really wanted it. As I say that, Nubby comes in for the bomb, tries to get off the sniper, doesn't really find anything. But this Pyro class, not really helping out against this mini sentry at all. They could have another spam class on the side that they could desperately need here, or get a Putis.
Yeah, no, Pyro is one of those classes where either it's going to help a lot or it's going to help nothing. Like, either it's going to like save your medic from rocket. You know, if you're getting bombed a lot, maybe you see that if there's a spy that's harassing you, you just can't deal with it. But even Heavy can deal with that. I definitely agree. I think the Pyro is a mistake here. I've seen it a few times, and just never really seen the Pyro work more than maybe like one particular instance. And here we can see the Heavy pushing forward. He's going to get the Uber charge popped off. It's going to be a little bit better for the blue side, but 30% is going to continue to push forward. Uka trying to find something in this post-Uber exchange. Trying to lock onto Layla, gets her down to half HP, takes down the sniper, going out to Layla. Layla's using the melee, not going to be enough. Joe's going to go down as well. That is a wipe in the favor of Gimme opponents as they continue to hold on here. 30 seconds left on the clock.
Absolute poggies, DQZ. Unfortunately, he did go down there, so Layla is going to have a better spawner, so they're going to have Uber advantage on the side of the red team. Whether they decide to play it or not is up to them, as they were playing it very slowly before, and this advantage is going to be very negligible. Only a 10% advantage on the side of Layla. In fact, actually, DQT isn't healing anyone, so this advantage is going to be going up. Hopefully, they do manage to get a lock on this advantage, but they are moving in now with the heal advantage. Some nice cleanup actually coming from the blue side. They take down so many, and Layla goes down as well, and they're just dying everywhere. It's another wipe, Sigafoo. It's another wipe.
It is another wipe, as they are going to be very happy with that to start this game. The overtime is up right now. That's why it's not ending. You got to watch that tick down here. But a great play there coming out from the Heavy. Barth is he goes for the flank play, gets it as they win that first round. And we'll see what they can do coming into this next fight. Walking out here, Feint Gaming, they definitely need to figure this out. Karpi is trying to carry them. He is twice the amount of points compared to Stinghan. But Hoi only with 4 points right now in this game so far, so they need to really step it up here to be able to help themselves out a little bit more.
Yeah, they're really in Strug City right now. They're just getting absolutely dominated in these fights, and it seems to be only Doan taking the initiative here and moving forwards, but he just eats too much damage, has to retreat once again, and he'll probably try and rinse and repeat. But they haven't got this 450 HP heavy tank that they could be playing with us right now to just chew up a little bit of that damage and to do a little bit of Overwatch, because T. Borden isn't really accomplishing too much apart from reflecting the occasional spam pipe and firing off some detonator shots. They're dealing negligible amounts of damage. And that's probably one of the elements that's causing them to lose quite a lot of this ground here, even though they have got this defensive class there to themselves.
Well, that's just it. If you have a Heavy as well as a mini sentry, you have two different ways that melee, or two different like kind of hit scan classes that just deny anybody from being able to walk forward in any sort of comfortable way. You know, for the flank Pyro to really be worthwhile, like you need to make some aggressive plays. You can't just be sitting by your medic. This isn't Highlander. You really need to do something more than just sit on your medic with it. And here we go, Joe jumping in. Here comes some Pyro. This is when it can be useful, but they have the Uber to respond in kind, so it's not going to be used for much. But how can they clean up in this post-Uber fight? Dreamy goes down early on there, trying to go for a flank side play as Joe's spamming out, but there's nothing to help him out as Hoi is down as well, so that's the second explosive class not able to do anything. And in Uber exchange, that results in nothing. Feint Gaming, let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, they've managed to lose a minute on the clock right now. Ubers are still even. Stinghan managing to find these opportunities here to try and get a little bit of space for him to start getting some points racked up on the board. But we are seeing, currently, Uka's on a 6k. He's going absolutely nutty. He's in behind him again, takes down Joan. Takes him down. Layla with a frag onto Uka though to save her own life. But Nubby's in. Nice spot from him to take down Karpi. And he's just going to pick up another health pack as well. Middle's going to try and contest him with the hit scan class of Engineer. They're not really going to be able to find anything there. Nubby survives.
You know, I know you're talking about how good Nubby was, and people say that, but god damn, he is good. Yeah. I mean, I'm just watching him, and like every rocket is just so beautiful.
It's crispy.
It's so consistent. He's going in for a flank play right now onto Layla, gets one, gets two, gets a little bit of a third there, and that's going to pop out there from DQZ, but Layla up on that 100%. Finally, Feint Gaming has an advantage. They're down 3 players. Joe is currently down as well. And so the question is, it looks like they're going to hold on Nubby going all the way back to spawn. He's trying to find Layla, but he's not going to find anything there. And we might see finally, I think this will be the first push that Feint Gaming can do successfully. I don't think they've done anything outside in. D-Toad catches Joe on a stick trap. 100% charge, ready to go. Bourbon walking in here. This is where the Pyro can be useful. He gets caught in there, gets the Heavy, chasing down DQZ. No one's able to blast them back. He's chasing all the way. It gets it. Gets the Engineer as well. Surely Dreamy will finish him off. They'll take down D-Toad, and they finally get a successful push as they come down with a point.
I think this is okay, to be honest. This is fine. If you're DQZ, I'm okay with this. I could die here. This is all right. Because I mean, 44 seconds left on the clock for them to cap. They've got plenty of time to get more Ubers, more opportunities, and then they could just fight from range also. In between that as well, they might find the epic opportunity and Layla goes down. You never know. They've got loads and loads of time to play with here, and especially in this round. But we'll see. Barthas takes down the mini sentry to start things up, and takes down the sentry gun once again. So no metal on the engineer to build anything up. He's going to have to retreat and get a little bit more metal as we see headshots start breaking out as Carpy manages to take down one and gets taken down himself as well. But Nubby taking that high ground as well and trying to get a bit of spam down. D-Toad starting to layer up those stickies and get tons of cap time for his team as the Red Uber does come out here. DQZ actually dropping down. This could spell disaster actually as they don't press forward with the super. Layla pops for nothing. It's gonna be a reset.
Yep, here comes in. Oh, Hoy gets an ice bomb in onto the medic, gets the kill on DQZ, and that's going to keep this Uber advantage in the favor of Feint Gaming, as they're only a minute behind, and now with that medic down, even if he gets back up, he's not getting the Uber charge until they're... Oh my god, Joe! Nice pipe onto Nubby there. I don't know if that was two in the air or just one.
Shot.
Yeah,
double
that was
air shot.
So nice. And that is it. I mean, Nubby's just doing such a good job at harassing, kind of popping. The great thing about Nubby is he's jumping in, but he's not fully committing. He's just enough so he can always get back out and just continue to harass and persist damage. But look at right now, D-Toad, this is where you don't have a heavy. Who's pushing D-Toad? He's just walking to the point. There's nobody to defend against it. Nubby's jumping in. They're only at 80%. They're trying to wait for Ubercharge before they go back in here. 86%, but they're dropping players in kind. And, Feint Gaming, they need to get pressure onto the point. They cannot let Gimme just get that for free.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a world of tanks on the blue side, where they've got both these players fully overhealed on the edge of the point with a heavy wing in the back close to back them up. And then as soon as they get half cap, Nubby jumps forward, creates more space. So they look at Nubby, ignore the point, and they get even more cap time. It's absolutely beautiful gameplay. As red team now pop out the Uber, DQZ running out here with the rest of his team. Dreamy is now on the chase. He gets this Uber, and they are going to pop it out immediately just so they don't drop. And they're going to start heading towards that point. It is going down to 10 seconds on the clock, where the red team have now capped it out. And it looks like we are going to have a little bit of a struggle here. Oh my god, the bomb from D10 takes out Carpy. They're on top of Layla as well. She goes down, the recap is on, and it looks like it's going to be a round once again to Gimme opponent.
Yeah, they're just doing such a good job here as we're cutting out the final seconds. Respawns will be coming up, but they're not going to be able to get up there in time. It's just great coordination coming out of D-Toad as well as Nubby there at the very tail end, kind of going in for a dual bomb. But, you know, the big thing, as you said, just... I mean, we're just going to harp on. I don't know how much we need to harp on Bourbon. I just don't agree with the pyro play. It's not really being effective, and they need something to contest. They can't allow D-Toad to walk across the point for free. Like, they need somebody to deal with that. And it's not just, you know, Bourbon who can do that. You know, maybe Hoy a little bit more, maybe the engineer a little bit more, but Dreamy, I don't know, just something. They need to do something to try to fix this gameplay because they're giving way too much ground to Gimme opponent.
I think they're trying to do this, essentially what I like to call the 6 protect 1 strat, where they group up loads of players around Carpy, and Carpy gets forward on full HP and goes in for headshots, and that's basically their entire strategy. As I'm seeing that, he's getting headshots left, right, and centre, really aggressive onto this point, actually using the SMGs to try and finish up frags. Nubby tries to get on top of Layla. Layla does get low, but they don't get anything there, and they have actually managed to get red team off the point and found the picks also. Layla getting low once again, and they are going to have to start backing out here because Layla needs to find some form of HP. Dreamy getting headshot there by Stingham, beautiful from him, and it's going to be blue team probably capping out his first point as DQZ
Layla
catches his Uber.
Yeah, Layla all the way back. It's on their Uka was chasing him and almost got the kill. Fortunately, middle back up on heavy. He was running Spy there for 1 life, so they do have a Spy now. Bourbon's still on Pyro, so no Spy as well as no Engineer, so they're giving up on that Engineer class, which I don't think is still... I mean, I think that's a correct decision. Like, I think I'd rather have a heavy... If you can't hold ground, I don't think Engineer, you know, is going to be able to as helpful as much, you know. Joe, though, goes down to a sticky trap once again from D-Toad. And here comes in Hoy, completely alone. Bourbon trying to do a bomb in with him, but that's not enough distraction.
Oh,
Uber comes off. Yeah, Nubby's great job there, and they're gonna get the Bourbon at least gets a force off. I mean, that's what he's been, you know, had his strength is, you know, leading the charge in on those Ubers because there's no pyro to reflect against him. But besides that, a minute already off the clock in the favor of Gimme.
Yeah, once again, though, this is fine for DQD. He can pop these Ubers out a little bit later, because Layla's going to be popping first anyway. Hoy gets bodied there on top of the bridge there, and does, in fact, need to go back for heals, but we are seeing Barthas come in there. Tons of damage from him. He starts to take down players. Middle getting shot down as well. Hoy now in as well. Also, DQZ manages to take him down. That's exactly what they needed. Layla now with a 40% advantage, but they really need to start taking this point and take some rounds off of these guys, because it's getting close to death time.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it is what they needed, I mean, they're going to get this point back. They're already down a minute and a half, and they haven't been doing a really great job holding on to the point. And so here we go. They do capture it. 255 starting to tick down in the fair. Here comes a Nubby. Jump bombing in. Is anybody to protect him? Nope.
No.
You have a pyro. But I mean, that's just it. It's like if you're dying, like what's the point of a pyro? If you can't defend against that, what the heck are you doing? Like I don't know.
The counter projectile class that isn't countering the projectiles, but instead is setting people on fire with a detonator. It's fantastic gameplay. Love it.
I'm gonna get some hate messages later on from Bourbon, man. I love you, but I don't know. I feel like we're focusing on him too much. I mean, obviously there's other things going wrong in the terms of Feint gameplay. There needs to be everybody protecting against their medic. Joe dying by himself, that's also not helping his team. He's been dying kind of early in these fights, but I think that's the problem with Feint Gaming is Joe just is feeling the need to create space for his team because nobody else is. You know, Hoy, he's jumping in, he's sometimes getting the medic, but his jump-ins are just being timed awkwardly, like not with his team, you know, not using the distraction of the pushes. And then Joe, I feel like he's trying to play the hero, but he's just being focused down because Gimme is just doing such a good job at just taking down the players out by himself. Is once again, Joe, first player to die during a fight, and you just cannot have that happen for your demo class.
Yeah, especially since Barth is there as well. And the only backup you have to this push is actually Hoy, but we are to see the blue ribbon now get popped off as Oka is now coming in from the side onto board and takes him down immediately. He's going to be chasing through the main shutter door in towards Layla and see if he can find anything, but it's going to go for Joan first, takes him down. Layla gets a sword, in fact, and does in fact keep it, since Hoy comes in on the flank there to take him down. And what I was going to say before that all kicked off is that Hoy's playing a bit more of a flanking role, and he's taking a little bit less heals than Nubby is, but he is trying to still make the same amount of space happen. I feel like that's where it's falling down. Nubby in onto Layla. Doesn't manage to find the last rocket, the detonator, finishing up the job. Carpy gets taken down by Stinghand, but the drop as Stinghand finds the head of Layla and can now peacefully die in flames.
Yeah, he's going to go down. Hoy doing a nice little flank play there on a 4K right now, so you might have been hearing us talk about his name because he is stepping up a little bit more, but Gimme opponent, they can just start walking forward. They know that Feint does not have any heals right now. They don't have an overcharge. Wiethoofd actually, questionable jump in. I don't know what he was hoping given that situation with Barth. This is the power of the heavy being fully healed up, 450, and the Nubby coming in from behind, and just great play. I mean, that's Nubby's been doing a lot today, but just the coordination of that flanking soldier at the right time while your team's pushing in, that is when you are the most devastating. Boy can do some stuff great by himself, but 4 seconds left in the clock here, and we're going to be walking away as Gimme opponent is going to take the championship. They are the grand champions of Season 4 EU Prolander, and they're going to be walking away with a nice little pocket of money.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Well deserved there from Gimme opponent. Dominant through the season, dominant on the finals. Exactly what they were looking for coming out the back of this. They just played so well, especially on Coal Plant. They had it all together. They had the DM, they had the distractions, they had the team coordination. Better team at the end of the day, like a knife through butter, like I said before.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing a great job overall. I mean, that's just the thing is, like, I felt like, and this is, so I was going to give you another stat line. I'd love to give these stat lines because I think it just really emphasizes again, what I'm talking about, where I don't think Feint Gaming is drastically the worst, team. So I'm just going to put out that Bourbon actually top fragged for Feint Gaming. Can we just talk about that? So we were talking shit about Bourbon this whole time, right? He top fragged for his team. So, I mean, he's obviously doing something for his team. I mean, is he denying people pushing across the point versus, like, what are these frags? What are they good for? But he did top frag, so I mean, we got to eat some crow on that. But Joe, he had only 390 DPM compared to D-Toad's 485, and I think that just comes down to him dying so early on in fights. He actually twice the amount of deaths compared to D-Toad. Middle with only 223 DPM, not doing a great job. But I guess Tuja on the other side, he didn't have a ton of DPM, but again, Engineer, it's not great. But this is what I wanted to say is, so if I said a team had 37 more frags, right? But the terms of actual damage difference is only like 2,500. Like, that's not right. Like, that is something going wrong in your team. Like, that is something going wrong in your team, and just like you're not pushing together, you're not playing well together, you're taking too many random deaths, and it's just disappointing for Feint Gaming because they definitely are a quality team, but they just not quite with it, Yeah,
in comparison, though, the one stat that I actually wanted to look at here was the damage taken stat. Now, we can see on Barth is he took 8,072 damage in this game. Joan the second the second highest in the game, 7,270, and he was the frontliner for their team for some reason. So Bath is the heavy tank that can survive taking that damage just due to his massive HP pool and receiving the second top heals for his team. Definitely going to be tanking most of that damage initially in these fights, and that was the big difference maker, because Joan would fire everything he had and then spend the next couple minutes doing reload simulator while trying to catch heals, whereas Barthas was just sat there the entire time shooting everyone, while Dito was spamming over the top of him and not eating that damage, and effectively got a lot more done. It just has to be said.
Yeah, I mean, just even talking about it is like the big thing about that is he had the most damage taken by a lot. He was like the closest person to him was like 800 less than him, but still, like, 8,000 damage is a ton to take, but he had the third fewest deaths. Like, he was only 2 deaths away from being the lowest amount of deaths inside the server.
Yeah.
So it just shows you just like a lack of focus coming in from Faint Gaming. A great job of just like focused healing onto him, and just him using good positioning of like, because it felt like he was just doing a great job at being in just awkward spots where, like, if you wanted to engage him fully when he was low, like, you had to fully commit and you're probably going to die to a fully revved up heavy. So just just a great job out of him today, helping out his team, But obviously, Utka, he top fragged. I mean, got to speak to him. 36 frags, twice the amount of basically anybody else inside the server. He obviously went huge today.
Hello.
And we got some people in here. Looks like we got Nubby as well as Utka joining us for a little post-game interview.
Hello, my friend.
Congratulations on your victory, lads. Nubby, fantastic job through these games. How did it feel space-wise for you on these games? Do you feel like you could get anything you wanted?
Well, on Alfred I didn't play that well, I think, especially in the second half. But Copeland was a bit easier. I was able to do much more.
Do whatever you goddamn wanted. We saw that disgusting black box gameplay on Upward. Don't tell us you didn't have a good game.
I mean, on first half I was doing some damage, but in second half I was doing pretty bad.
If you think.
Unfortunately, yeah. I was gonna say your team kind of picked you up there. I mean, that's the thing is when you don't have a great game, it all comes down to the team. But Utka, you had a great game there at the tail end. Really popping off on Coal Plant. What kind of set you apart in that game that you were able to double frag pretty much the rest of the server?
I don't know. I just played my game. I was going behind every time when I could, and just killing them. It was easy.
You just gave them the business in behind there on Coal Plant, especially. You just managed to get on top of Layla so many times, and you took it down and cleaned up on so much damage throughout all of those games. It was just incredible to watch. How did it feel for you playing on Upward, though? Did it feel like you're a bit of a cart sitter?
I don't like pushing card. I like playing normal maps. That's it.
Any questions from you, Sigafoo?
I mean, he summed it up best. That's it. That's it.
He
doesn't like pushing the cart. Dude, it's pushing the cart. It's a thankless job, but it's what wins games, right? At the end of the day. Yeah. I mean, you guys obviously had a really great game today. I mean, they definitely were, in terms of like, you guys just had really good communication. I mean, Nubby, it seems like you were doing a good job of kind of working off of your team's comms. And I mean, how long have you guys been playing together that it felt like that coordination was really in sync between you and your demo, especially?
I was only playing playoffs, and I played one match in regular season.
Well, there you go.
I was playing sixes, so I couldn't play.
I mean, winning sixes, top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to move to a few shoutouts here. So, Nubby, any shoutouts from you?
Okay, so shoutouts to Dying Slave 22, shoutouts to Daga, shoutouts to Invis, shoutouts to Rao Curing, shoutouts to Barney, shoutouts to my Sixes team, shoutouts to Aleski, shoutouts to Porky, shoutouts to Ace, shoutouts to Carbo, shoutouts to Dited, and shoutouts to my team.
Big. Okay, any shoutouts from you?
Yeah, shout out to Carbo, best player Ditayet, DKZ, my Sixes team, Mixwell, Tony, Dila, and my Highlander team.
Sigafoo, any shoutouts from you?
just shout out to everybody at RGL who helped make the season. Big shout out to Albert, who obviously put in a lot of work this season. Also had a couple admins as well who really stepped it up. So the season wouldn't have gone off without them because I didn't have really much to do anything with Europe this season. So, definitely shout out to all the RGL team and everybody who came in and tried out Prolander.
Yeah, I'm going to throw shout out to Wiethoofd for producing today. Thank you so much, my dude. Shout outs to my Sixers team as well. And shout outs to all the peeps in Polly's Pub. Wiethoofd, any shout outs from me? BTS! Yeah, BTS, there we go. Shout outs to BTS. You can watch it. It's going to be good. It's being hosted in California. Loads of invite teams. Big Sixers community. Biggest thing that we're probably going to have coming forwards beyond the summit, obviously. A massive, massive organization hosting all kinds of esports. So hopefully we're going to fit right in there. But also, I'd like to mention Copenhagen Games. Woo!
Also, shout outs to Chufer.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So see you at Copenhagen if you're going, and thanks everyone for watching today as well. Any more words from you, Sig?
No, I think that's it. Just thanks for giving us a great game.
Fantastic. All right. Cool. Thank you everyone this evening for watching us. This has been myself, Lucky, joined by Sigafoo and Wiethoofd on production, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, old beaver! Away!